Our purpose is to build a holistic voice that creates a community of like-minded, healthy people for a healthier planet. Our goal is to unify the community, nourishing the growth in mind, body, spirit, awareness, and wellness. We want to engage our community and visitors so they have access to powerful momentum of the holistic presence in our community. We do this by creating awareness through interviews, providing education and awareness of cutting-edge modalities. We also provide access for consumers to quality natural health and wellness professional and practitioners and like-minded business that support this community. Thank you for listening with us on Healthy Planet One. Stay with us for the next interview with our next holistic guest.
Welcome, everyone. This month's focus is on gratitude. Now, you've heard about gratitude. This topic is fully multi-dimensional, and we have invited 4 guests to share their insight and contributions in their various fields. So we invite you to listen in each week to these in-depth conversations that will make a big difference in your life. Our guest today, we're very excited to have Dr. Joy Pedersen joining us today. She is an international best-selling author, founder and president of Express Success LLC, and a Doctor of Divinity, award-winning licensed spiritual healer and certified spiritual health coach. She's been serving international business and professional clients for years. She's going to be talking to us. We're so happy to have you, Joy. Welcome.
Thank you.
So the topic of business with a soul, or business with soul, and all of us here on the line today have been involved in corporate business at some time. So what can you tell us, Joy, about business with soul?
Business with Soul started officially with a cleansing, spiritual healing cleansing session with a business client. And through that session and a channeled message from Archangel Michael, Business with Soul was formulated to create a council to assist businesses in understanding that their business has a soul and how to capitalize on working with businesses and their souls to evolve their business and become more successful with ease.
So
how does that make a difference, Joy, if they have a soul or not have a soul?
Well, let me explain a little bit about the soul.
Yeah.
So when you create anything and you're connected to God's source, when you create it, it has a soul. Everything really does has a soul because everybody is always connected with source, known or unknown, no matter what their belief systems are. But when they're consciously and intentionally connected with source, that soul can emerge, and God actually can work through the soul of a business as well as the soul of the owner of the business or the executives of a business. And it's something that was uniquely discovered through my work as a spiritual healer. And as a spiritual healer, I've learned to connect with the soul of a business, and actually they can come forth with a name and actual intelligence guiding the business as to what is necessary to grow the business with ease.
So you mentioned that this concept came when you were having a discussion with one of your corporate clients. How did it work out for them? Like what type of?
Well, actually, that individual was invited to be part of a council.
Okay.
And we created this council called Business with Soul. And then we were identifying when a business had a soul, and then also how to assist a business to connect with their soul of their business. So over the years, I have connected with a variety of businesses through the owner of the business, and then tapping into the soul of the business. And then the soul of the business can communicate to me what it requires.
So as I know about astrology charts for a business. Any event, a date, time, it absorbs the energy at that date and time, just like your natal chart. All businesses have charts. Every events have charts, like new moons, full moons. So for people that don't understand this, it's the energy in the intention of the moment. Is that how you could explain it in a different way?
Well, let's say,
Similar?
yeah,
Yes and no?
it's actually like talking to another being. It's like when you're channeling or doing mediumship work and you're connecting with somebody on the other side, but this soul is like a living, breathing intelligence within the business itself.
So
And
you give a name to the soul. Is that what you do, Joy?
I don't. The soul usually tells me what their name is.
That's interesting. It's like a person name, or what? What's
Yeah, no, normally it comes out with a name that's probably identifiable, more like an individual's name. What I find is not everyone's soul of their business will identify themselves until the owner of the business has worked on themselves enough or is evolved enough themselves, and then the soul of the business can emerge.
So give us an example of how that has played out in the success of a business or a client that you worked with.
Okay, so I'll give you one case study. I was working with a woman who was a CPA. She had her own accounting business, and she came to me with money issues. During a past life regression of really, I go in and I see the cause. I noticed that she was in a past life, a male in a loincloth, like on the side of the road, maybe in like a place like India, which was very impoverished. And she had taken on at that time a lot of guilt, not only from the poverty, but as a man that lifetime saw her, his at that time wife and child die of starvation and felt very guilty because he couldn't support them properly. We cleared that using spiritual healing. I was taken to another lifetime where she was a flower salesperson. She was dressed rather shabbily, trying to sell flowers to people in the neighborhood, but she chose an impoverished neighborhood because she felt so shabbily dressed. If she had gone to the more rich neighborhood where they could afford her flowers, she felt more awkward. So we cleared that, and that afternoon, she had 2 more paying clients just show up. So that's an example of working on the business. But as we did that type of thing, the soul of her business emerged and identified herself as Sarah. So the name of the business, or the soul, was Sarah. And then Sarah said one day that we had to work on an ancestry on her father's side. So in tuning into the ancestry, there was a rabbi who came forward and was really yelling at her that she shouldn't even have a business. And he was quite vocal about it. So we had to clear him, and that was ancestral programming that was affecting her business. And then we took that back to a lineage of rabbis where there was a cave early on where one rabbi was going into, knowing that there was darkness in there, thought he was above it, was affected by darkness, and that darkness affected a whole lineage. So we had to clear that. And then from there, an angel appeared, elaborating on she was part of the angels that were guiding the Jewish people. And she was explaining the dynamics of what we had just cleared. The next thing I knew, I was seeing into a meeting that was taking place in heaven where there's 22 angels responsible for the Jewish people. I saw Abraham, Jesus, Mother Mary, a lot of other individuals that were at this meeting. Archangel Michael showed a map. And in order to clear for this client, here we're talking about a modern day situation, but a lot of past life influence was coloring the way in which her business was showing up. We had to clear that, and Michael was showing the map that how expansive the coverage was going to be in order to shift everything for all these people. Jesus showed dictates that were allowing what could be cleared as far as karma. And it was the most in-depth demonstration I felt of what happens from soup to nuts in working with a client and a company in particular, and in this case, the soul of the business was the one that tipped us off to go down this path that revealed all of these nuances of what operates behind the scene, affecting people's business, their money situations, etc.
Fascinating.
And people don't even know about that. You're saying these are actually energies that are affecting a business that in the day-to-day operation of business, you think, oh, it's this or that, but you're saying that there are other energies that are at operation. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. In my work working with money issues in particular, I have discovered everyone has a wheel of commerce, for example. You personally would have one, your business would have one, your city, state, province, country, etc. has a wheel of commerce. And when I tune into that wheel of commerce, I can see all the limited thinking and the emotions that create crud around that wheel of commerce that ends up making the wheel of commerce stop moving. So like in around 2008, when the country was tanking financially, I looked at the United States wheel of commerce and I had to clear that so it could start moving again. And I do that for individuals and their businesses as well.
So I'm a big, I've read all of Dr. Brian Weiss's things, and a lot of listeners may have heard of him and past life regressions. And this is just taking it to a whole deeper level and really helping people to understand that there's a whole lot. We're not just in time and space. There is space continuum that we don't really comprehend, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
There's so much more that goes into the way in which life shows up. But I think the bottom line is thoughts and emotions are the culprit. The belief systems that people have, ancestral have, can all impact how somebody shows up and experiences the world. And of course, their business would reflect how they're perceiving the world.
So let me ask you, Joy, that you mentioned this tool called the Wheel of Commerce. So what I got from listening to you talk about that, it was sort of like, well, Wheel of Commerce. I would equate that maybe to a wheel, like a chakra is a wheel, right? That's what in the Sanskrit terminology it means wheel. And when those chakras aren't spinning properly, there's also always stagnation. And that's what I heard you say about using this wheel of consciousness in gearing how the business is going, correct?
There's definitely a similarity as to chakras or a wheel of commerce, and they might show up differently when I'm looking at them to clear them. I also see, for example, like a compass, and if your internal compass isn't cleared, you're not going to go in the right direction necessarily with ease. So when you clear all of those, the chakras, the wheel of commerce, the compass, whether it's of an individual or of a business, then it will open up movement, possibility, because nothing is impeding it.
So a compass will show, that's the other tool that you have that shows you the direction that the business is going in. Is that right?
Yeah, if you look at a regular compass and you have a compass within your being, it's an energetic compass, but when it gets filled with limited beliefs and fears, for example, that compass could get junked up, and then there's no clarity. Like
Okay.
in the wheel of commerce, and you don't see it move.
Oh.
So once the crud is removed, then the wheel of commerce can move, and then people's economy improves.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take this to something real for us. You mentioned a while ago the Holistic Chamber of Commerce has a soul, and I think you came up with her name, and she gave us a channeled message. How can we work more closely with her, and what differences will that make for us?
Well, I think if somebody is intuitive and can tune into their own soul, first of all, and the soul of their business, that would certainly open up opportunity. It's being intuitive and understanding who you are and your connection with Source. But I received a message from Source, God, that might give you some clarity and then would help open up the soul of the business so the soul would work better. If you want me to read that,